The Harry Potter film series took well over $7 billion at the box office. So how did the stars spend their paychecks? I assume the ones with the Hogwarts logo on them. Let's start with the man himself, Daniel Radcliffe. Ever since he hung up his Harry Potter glasses, he's been working steadily in things like Miracle Workers, Swiss Army Man, and Horns. His career has earned him $110 million. He also has no problem spending it. What Radcliffe loves to spend his money on the most is real estate. He purchased not one, not two, but 3 apartments in New York City. That includes a $5.6 million West Village apartment, a $4.9 million Soho apartment, and one on West 12th Street for $6.2 million. You would think that a movie star like Radcliffe would roll around in a brand new Lambo or a classic Ferrari. Well, think the opposite of that. Funnily enough, as far as cars go, he appears to be clueless. He drives around in a Fiat Grande Punto that only costs around $4,000, and that's if you get a bad deal. I don't know, maybe it flies or something? As far as the strange things go, Radcliffe is as quirky as a celebrity as you'd think he is. For instance, while everyone values a good night's sleep, not everyone is as prepared to drop big bucks on it as he is. When he was 22, he spent $17,000 on a new Savoir mattress. Funnily enough, this was still on the cheap side. This brand can go for over $100,000. Then there's his love of the arts. This all started when he saw his first art love, Mona D, Mary and Me by Jim Hodges. Funnily enough, they weren't going to sell it to him because he wasn't a prestigious collector. The artist, however, was a huge Harry Potter fan and insisted they sell it to him for an undisclosed amount. Radcliffe then famously dropped $2 million on a kaleidoscope painting. The butterfly painting by Damon Hirst caught Radcliffe's eye and became a favorite of his. I imagine he's still a little disappointed though every time he walks by one of these paintings and they don't talk to him. I know I am. Of course, you don't have to spend a ton of money to have a great time. Many celebrities have problems with the paparazzi, and Radcliffe has been no exception. People have been following him around everywhere, taking photos of anything they could.
I'm Colin Creevy. I'm in Gryffindor too.
While many celebs have gotten angry, Radcliffe got a very special kind of revenge. He decided to buy several pairs of the exact same outfit and wore it everywhere he went. That way, anytime someone took his picture, it seemed like an old photograph someone was trying to pass off as new. Thus, it was worthless. That's revenge on a budget. Fred and George would be so proud. Emma Watson may have started out as the lovable know-it-all Hermione Granger, but she's had quite the career since then. Roles in Beauty and the Beast, Little Women, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower have earned her $85 million. Her purchases are as classy as you'd expect. Her first big purchases with that Harry Potter money included a laptop, a holiday with her dad, and a $30,000 Prius. Since then, she's certainly upgraded her rides with a $95,000 armored Cadillac Escalade, a $71,000 Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and a $43,000 Audi S3. Then there's her home in the historic Islington section of Greater London. The 2,271 square foot home features 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It was purchased in 2016 for an estimated $3.3 million. The home has plenty of history too, as it used to be owned by the writer of 1984, George Orwell. Rumor has it the real reason she picked this home up sight unseen was because it promised to be paparazzi proof. That's how you make a sale to a private movie star.
You have no business here. This tent is for champions.
She's well known in the fashion world too, frequently seen wearing designer looks from the likes of Ralph Lauren or Louis Vuitton. Then there's jewelry, which she's known to splurge on. That includes a $9,000 pair of Karma El Khalil pyramid drop earrings and a $12,500 Karma El Khalil diamond trilogy ring. Beyond that, she's known for activism and donating to charity. This includes donating $1 million to a hotline for women in trouble. So she's a hero both on and off screen. Ron Weasley actor Rupert Grint may not have had the continued success some of his co-stars have, but he's not too bad off. As of today, he's still reported to be worth $50 million. That number might be a lot higher if he hadn't spent his money like, well, a teenager who just became a millionaire. For starters, he bought a house that puts the borough to shame. His beautiful $7.5 million mansion sits on 22.6 acres of land with enormous gardens and even its own lake. The 6-bedroom estate features 2 swimming pools, a jacuzzi, a gym, a game room, a floodlit tennis court, and 2 guest cottages. All things considered, there are worse houses to blow blow a ton of money on. He bought some weird things too. Apparently one of the most regrettable choices Grint made was to get a hovercraft. These water vehicles can go for up to $79,000. Judging from his apparent regret over buying one, I'm betting he didn't get his money's worth. Still, there's one purchase that he's become famous for. Grint may have spent his Weasley fortune on the cutest thing I've ever seen a celebrity throw money at. When he was in the middle of filming the Harry Potter series around the time of Goblet of Fire, Grint fulfilled a childhood ambition. He decided to become an ice cream man. He purchased a Bedford Mr. Whippy ice cream truck and started driving around to give kids free ice creams delivered by Ron Weasley himself. I don't know exactly how much he spent on it back then, but today that kind of truck goes for around 12 grand with a 35 grand franchise fee. All things considered, that's a small price to pay for a young millionaire to make his childhood dream come true. Tom Felton hasn't exactly hit it big after starring as Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. He's had a few minor roles in things like The Flash and Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but not much else of note. Still, his $20 million probably keeps him company while he's waiting for the phone to ring. Unfortunately, when he first got rich as a young man, he immediately started spending money like crazy. It turns out that he has a thing for buying cars for not only himself, but family and friends. Yeah, apparently it pays to be Draco's friend in real life, too. The story goes that Felton bought a ton of BMWs, even though he was too young to drive at the time. Too many BMWs, it turns out. Felton threw his money around so casually that eventually the taxman realized he wasn't paying his due. This nearly cost Felton his fortune, but don't worry, he bounced back. Nowadays, he still likes to buy cars, but imagine he does so on his accountant's approval now. That includes his $243,000 orange Huracan. These things can fly faster than a Nimbus 2001 at speeds of 190 miles per hour. Apparently, he's traded his love of BMWs for Lambos because he's also got a $200,000 Lamborghini Urus. That will go nicely with what's gotta be his best Lambo buy yet. That would be his $500,000 gray Lamborghini Aventador. There's no word on whether or not he's bought any Lambos for his friends though. I'm betting his accountant wouldn't be too happy about that. What do you think Lord Voldemort spends his $50 million on? Well, prepare to be surprised. Ralph Fiennes is a lot closer to the well-dressed spies he portrays in The King's Man or the James Bond series. He's gone into great detail describing the classy things he likes to spend his money on. His favorite thing to buy for himself? Handmade shoes from John Loeb that go for $6,500 to $10,000. What kind of clothes does he wear? Well, he picks brands like Dwar Men, where he can pick himself up a $3,100 coat. What kind of watch does he use? Well, he's been seen wearing Long Island's Conquest Heritage pink gold wristwatch that costs over $10,000. So yeah, he's a lot closer to Oxford snot brogues than he is to conquering the wizarding world. Alan Rickman was a legend long before he put on that Severus Snape wig. He was legendary in films like Die Hard or Galaxy Quest. Despite his decades of success on both stage and screen, he will likely always be known for his work in the Harry Potter films. Unfortunately, he passed away long before the reunion special aired, but we can still look back on how he lived his life and spent his modest fortune. His decades as an actor earned him a reported $16 million. From 2006 until the end of his life, Rickman lived in a West Village apartment in New York City. It was an appropriately classy white apartment with hardwood floors, high ceilings, and plenty of natural light. The 925 square foot home had one bedroom and one bath, 12-foot ceilings, a walk-in shower, a compact kitchen, and a wood-burning fireplace. This place ended up selling for $1.7 million, hopefully to a Slytherin. Rickman drove as classily as he lived. He didn't have an enormous collection, but what he did drive made a statement, as you'd expect. He was most known for cruising around in a sleek $50,000 Maserati Ghibli S, though it looks like he may have used a driver instead of actually taking the wheel himself. Rumor has it that he actually failed his driver's test for driving too cautiously. That's just funny because you know if Snape was a driver, he would run all the reds. What he really loved to spend his money on will warm your heart. While Snape enjoyed nothing more than torturing students, Rickman was the opposite. His favorite way to spend money was to take co-stars and friends out to dinner in some of the nicest restaurants where he picked up the tab. Many people who worked with Rickman said that he would spend time mentoring younger actors on how to make it in Hollywood and on stage. Not only that, but he was apparently a terrible gossip as well. I don't know which of those I wish I could have been there for more. The Harry Potter brand has apparently earned more than $15 billion overall. Judging from the ratings from that reunion, I'd say another 15 bill is on the way.